Morning, and it's a Sunday morning for me, and I'm back on the NC700. Failed its MOT yesterday. I've done replaced the front brake pads and the front wheel bearings, which were advisories, and today I'm going to do the rear bearings, which is actually what it failed on, and I'm going to change the chain. So yeah, that's it really. That's what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to get this cover off, which I think I might need to take the gear linkage off, and just crack the nut on the front sprocket, just while it's all together, I think. Yeah, because I can put a bar through the wheel to stop it turning, and that'll give me, yeah, that'll hold it steady so I can get to it. So let's have a look. I think it's just a cut of 8mm. Another one. It's quite an extensive bit of case. Yeah. So the gear linkage has got to come off. I've got a scribe. I'm just going to mark where it was. Bit of shite in there. What's that? 15, 14, 16. Something with an een. 7. No. 14 is the winner. I'll just rest something through the wheel. Now I'm presuming that's a right hand thread. It could be a left hand thread. I'll best check on that first. Anyway. Yeah, it's standard thread. I got all excited and turned it off before I turned the camera on. That's that off. Take the bar out of the wheel. So, caliper off. Right, caliper's out the way. I think I'll undo the adjusters first so I can get the wheel back and chain off. That's a bit easier. Right, take the one off the other side and then bring you back when I pull the axle. Okay, that should slide forward. Give me a bit of freedom on the chain, like that. Then we'll whack the axle out. Which is all a lot easier since I did the tyre. And it's been put on with the correct torque settings. It was definitely over tightened before, which might have aided in the bearings crushing so soon As I say, it's only done, well, I didn't say, I have in a previous video, but it's only done 16,000 miles, so wheel bearings and chains and stuff shouldn't need doing. I think I could get away with the chain. Partially my own fault, neglect over the winter where I was doing my camper van, but the wheel bearings and that, they should be fine still, in my humble opinion. But they're not. So I'm going to get them done. And so when I took it off, when I took them off, they felt fine, and they look fairly new. So I don't know whether they're just not. I mean, there's a bit of play in the tube inside. You'd expect a little bit, but maybe that's a little bit excessive. But there's nothing on the bearings themselves. But I bought them. I'll change them, and hopefully Mr. MOT will pass it this time. So I'll get the wheel on the bench and start knocking out them bearings. Right, same as yesterday where I did the front bearings. If you haven't seen that video, go and see it. Oh, that was a video. Well, it was a video. So same again. Right, let's try it up the other way. Let's see if we can get hold of this one. Let's try a different debris. Oh, stuck in my balls. Stuck in my melon, man. There we go. Get out. I think that's the kitty. There you go, bearing and spacer. Don't look terrible. Definitely not as free rolling as it probably should be. No. But there's no discernible side to side movements. Definitely, as I say, definitely drier than it should be. It felt like that one. Where's that one? Oh yeah, we've definitely had some water ingress there. I've mullered it a bit, smashing it with the... Oh, that is really horrible. Again, there doesn't seem to be much side to side. When I did the front ones, I could feel... Oh, I suppose there's a little bit there. Probably the same as the front. But yeah, definitely had the water getting in there. Fucked. Good call, Mr. MOT man. That all looks quite nice. Which the front one had a bit of oxidization going on where the water got in, and definitely some shite in there as well, which is the official term. Right, get a new one in there. That pretty much sounds like it's home. It's even all the way round. So. Yep, definitely looks like it's home. This is the shittier end. This might want a bit of a wire brushing. But obviously the other end has the sprocket carrier over it, which gives that added protection. Yeah, I'll get a little wire brush on that and give it a little bit of a whiz. Oh, what a dickhead. And put the spacer in. But this is just on its first noggins. So, yeah. I knew it'd fall back out. What a dickhead. Yeah. Dickhead. I'm going to start getting this bearing caught now. I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be doing that. Oh, let's give it a little bit more. Just or not. Or not. No. No. No, that will lead to all sorts of disaster. That's it. Tiniest bit of movement. And then seal. These just fell in on the front wheel, the seals. Again, a little bit unnerving. Oh, it comes to something when you need a spanner to open your little pot of red grease, which is pretty much pointless. Yeah, it was a bit tight at that one, but I think the Koyo ones, you're sort of hitting in. Right, that's that side done. Now it's this kiddie. There's a spacer in the middle of it, which you can see is quite thick there, but where it goes through the middle of the bearing, it is very tight, very tight and slight. So don't know what I've got to give that a slap. I don't want to hit it too hard because I'll start burring over the top. I don't want to do that. Will I be better with the bearing out? I don't think so. Or take the bearing out and cut the bearing off the spacer. Is the other option. I mean, the Suzuki's are tight. Oh, that's all right. The Suzuki's are tight fit, but so long as you get it straight on with the bearing, it goes in. But any deviation will stop it moving in. But that is machined well. Yeah, that is tight like a tiger. Right, I'll tell you what I should have done. Loosened off all these nuts, ready to replace the sprocket. Oh, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Yeah, it feels alright. So it's just the one, again the one shitty one that the water's got into. Water. But that is pristine in there. Good, 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 good. That sounds like it's home. All looks good. Right, that's the sprocket carrier done. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Right, that's all done. So, let's get the wheel back up. Like that. Put the crush drives in. Like that. Shove that back in there. Like that. And then get a big doobly whatchamacallit thingamajig. And a socket about that big. Oh, close. That's the kiddie. And then should have left it on the bike. Yeah, I think that needs to go back on the bike. Oh, what a fool. Right, I'll just shove the axle through and undo them. So here's the setup. Taking the chain guard off, bloody great spanner through the wheel, and then no way these are torqued to the right setting. I'd already done a couple, so I don't know how many more I need to do. Oh, that's the lot. Pain in the ass. Don't neglect your bikes. Don't neglect your bikes and then sell them on to someone who has to sort it out, who is a lazy twat and neglects his bikes. It's no good. The world is screwed. Alright, let's get them all loose. It's not terrible. But I've made a decision and I'm sticking to it. This is a 43 teeth JT sprocket. That's a 43 teeth somebody else sprocket. That fits on there beautifully. And I think this is why you get your, someone was saying, this is why you get your chain tight spots, because of this movement on here. You can't get that exact. So it's further away at certain point. Oh, something like that. I don't know really. Just waffling. Just filling out the video. And no, I'm not cleaning any of it. It's a commuter donkey. Get over yourselves. Right, those I will torque up when it's on the bike. When everything else is on the bike. Right, want the front sprocket off. And hopefully it looks like that and it's 16 teeth. Definitely similarities. Oh, where are you looking? Definitely similarities. And this is a Japanese steel. Japanese steel. Can't get any finer. Made out of old samurai swords. Cut the chain off. Cut the chain off. Get the back wheel in. Offer the new chain up. Something like that. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I don't know where I quite left the video, but I've just been in for a nice breakfast with the missus. She's decided to grace the world with her presence. And I'm back again. And I think I'm at the stage of just cutting this chain off, which I'm doing the old-fashioned way, just cutting the chain off. Not with the old chain breaker and that messing about. That's that. One dead chain. I've placed the front sprocket on. That's just on loose, hand tight. The sprocket on the sprocket carrier is only pinched up, so they need torquing up. So now I think I'm ready to feed this Czechoslovakian wondrous chain through and see what size it needs to be cut to, if indeed it needs cutting. I've never known one not to want cutting, to be fair. Tell you what, it might be a bit short. Oh dear, that wouldn't be great. Might be actually spot on. Do you know what? I think I'm going to get the old chain out and count the links. This is 114 links, so I'm going to count the other one and see whereabouts I am with this. I'll see you in a minute. Well, yes, the old one was 114 links. I've always had to cut my chains to size. I've always had DID chains, to be fair. Yeah, I've always had DID chains, to be fair. And I've cocked up buying this one. Well, I don't know whether I've cocked up buying this one or not, but it's certainly not the make of chain that I wanted. Getting shit all over the seals to start with, that's not good. No tear strip on this then. That looks like a tear strip. Greasy fingers. Like that. Oh, and don't push it apart. It's greasy. Come on, you've done it once. Let's do it again. Right, more grease. There you go, that'll do, that's done. Bye bye. Right, might want a bit of crushing. Let's see where I get to pulling the wheel back. Yeah. Okay. That surprised me. That's the fact that the chain is the right size. Not had that before. Right, I'll get my tool for crushing that down. Crushing the pins down over the link to hold that in place. And I'll be back in a minute. Right, I've got my riveter in place. I'm just pulling the outer plate on. You can't really do it with pliers, so the tool pulls it in. It's just got the anvil at the back, which pushes against the back of the pins, and then this plate here has holes in it, so the pins will come through that whilst pushing this extra outside plate on. But you don't want to crush the or I don't want to crush the rubber seals too much, so I'm just going to measure one of these other links, and that's at 19 millimeters wide. So let's just take this off a minute and check what that is at the moment. At the moment that's 25 and a half. So it wants to go in 6.5 mil. Yeah, 19. So as I say, the the back plate there's got a slot in it. The back of your rivets sit in there, and then this bit has got the holes in, and as you clamp it together, the pins can go into the holes, allowing the plate to be pushed on or clamped on. I say not impossible with pliers, but probably a lot less accurate. Let's try that. It's still quite a way out, I think. 19.5. 19, so on 1/2 mil. Let's try that. That's just over 19. It's about 1/2 mil. Let's try that. Lock that in place this time. So that'll be 19 and 19.6, and that is 19.5. I think that's close enough. I think that's definitely close enough. One more time just to make sure. Unlock it, clamp it, lock it, pull it out. 19.5. 19.6. 19.64. Yeah, that's close enough. That's close enough. I don't want to over crush it, because then you're crushing up the O-rings, which obviously is not right. Now, the next bit I think is to put a pin in, which then you push against that, which splays it out. So I'll reconfigure the tool and get it into position on the heads. I'll take a measurement of those first as well, so it gives you a good idea of how much you're, oh that's wrong with that, how much you're mushrooming it out. And 5 mil. So anything over 5 mil, you'll know, or I'll know, that rivet head has spread out, stopping this pin from coming back off. Doesn't need much. In the early days I did smash some of these tools. They're not the strongest of things, but then you think you've got to really wind it up and mushroom it right out. I mean, usually you've got a rivet next to it that you can take the size off to compare, but these are manufactured ones and they're huge. And there's no way the head of this new one is going to mushroom out as much as one of these, which is at just over 6 mil. So there's an extra millimetre. Yeah, I don't see that it's going to spread out that much. 1/2 mil, good enough. So yeah, I'll just reconfigure the tool and bring you back again. So like the complete twonk I am, I forgot to plug my microphone back in, but this is the splaying pin. You'll see it's got a domed head there, which will push into the rivet like that, which will crush into it, and then the rivet head will splay out over the top of the dome. And it only wants to be an extra 1/2 millimetre wider, just to stop that gold plate coming off and obviously the chain undoing. That's another type of pin that comes in the set, which is just for pushing out links when you're splitting the chain. Obviously I use my
grinder to just chop through it. And that's me just putting the tool back together, ready to splay it all out. And then this dobby looking bit is the anvil, which goes into the tool and cups the backside, misses, of the pin, of the link's pin. So that gives you something for the, obviously the front of it to push against. And again, just measuring it, I think it was 5mm, so all it needs is another 0.5mm, not even that, just to splay out over that gold plate to stop the gold plate coming off and obviously the link all coming apart. Just making sure that is indeed the right one for the size of link, and then yeah, just showing that the pin that's in the tool mushrooms over the top of the link, and then putting it all together and getting on with crushing it. And as you see, just using a spanner to wind that tool into the pin and hoping it's splayed out enough. And for the little bit I did, it needed some more, so I did some more. This time I got it right, and it did come out to about 5.5mm, which means it had splayed out an extra 0.5 or 0.5mm, which is good enough. See? 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 Yeah, thanks. So that was that one done, and then do the same on the next pin. And a lucky shot, got that spot on first time round, so that was all good enough. Just had to put some tools away and then crack on with rebuilding it all. So started off with torquing everything up, and like the animal I am, I just threw a spanner in there, not worried about knocking against the paintwork or the chipping the wheel or anything. Absolute animal. And that's 54 Newton meters, I think it was, on the front sprocket, which didn't seem like a lot at all, but yeah, that's an axle. Just saying that the axle wanted 98 Newton meters, and the rear sprocket carrier bolts wanted 108 Newton meters, which seemed very excessive. Definitely don't want your rear sprocket coming off, does Honda, but they don't mind the front sprocket coming off. That's me dropping a spanner on the floor, rather large spanner with a rather a large bang. Won't be the first time, definitely won't be the last. And just to prove it, here's spanner dropping number 2. The other side of the bike this time, equally as loud, equally as stupid. Let's try something different. Actually started caring about my paintwork, so wrapped the spanner in a cloth. And there you go, 108 Newton meters on every nut, which still seems like an excessive amount, but I suppose it takes a lot of torque through there Yeah, got all these done. I think there's 5 in total, all torqued up, and then moved on to the next item. Don't worry, only a couple more minutes of this dodgy old narrating malarkey. Just saying, I've given the cover a half-hearted clean before throwing in the 3 bolts to hold it back on, and then getting the gear linkage back into place. I'd scribed that earlier, or scratched a mark on it earlier, and having ridden the bike to work today, found that I was 1 tooth out. It's just slightly too high, the gear lever, but yes, that's what I'm doing here. And as I've said before, this isn't a tutorial, this is just an old fart in a shed thinking he knows what he's doing, and obviously proving he doesn't. So now it's the turn of the caliper to be put back on, which is just a 12 and a 14mm bolt, and then getting your brake pads in the right place. Not the best of camera angles this, but yeah, with a bit of faffery it all goes back together as it should. And as I say, I rode the bike to work today and the back brake actually works, so some success, methinks.
Okay, after discovering the microphone wasn't plugged in, I'm also discovering this has been a pig shit. What's the matter with you? That's what's the matter. Brake caliper wasn't far enough over. Right. How's that looking? Where's my phone? Yeah, so I've done the yeah, that's in place. Alright, caliper's located. So the bolt can go in. Okay, it's all in. Get the brake up. There we go. So it's just adjusting the chain. Yes, you did get the speeded up version of the case going on. I did clean that up a little bit to make the mating surfaces clean, but it's not 100% clean, you know what I mean? Never is with me. And then obviously I've got the caliper back on and DIY torqued up, so all that's left is to tension the chain and do up the axle. So I'll do that. Chain's tensioned and the axle nut is torqued. I just got on with that. If you want to see me do it, go back and see the what was the title? NC700 new rubber. But yes, all torqued up, all tensioned up. Just need to pinch off these adjusters. That's it. Got a cat to get rid of. I think my gear lever's in about the right place. The scratch that I marked it up with lined up, so it should be good. There's no untoward noises. Oh, I've got to put the chain guard on. But there you go. So in the course of 2 weekends, the old girl's had a new back tyre, all new rear bearings including sprocket carrier, new chain, new sprocket, new front sprocket, all new front bearings. I'll put that down there. And new brake pads. So I should get from this MOT, if indeed they allow it to pass when they retest, this MOT to the next MOT without many costs, I hope. I will just double check that those bearings have taken that play out. Oh, it's nothing at all. But yeah, as I say, the bearings I took out, although one was shot in the back through water ingress, and the same with the front, and they had a tiniest little bit of play. I suppose the leverage that you've got from the axle to where you're grabbing the tyre will ingratiate in no, the leverage will make the movement more. It'll move more from side to side at the top here than it ever will at the bottom there, or the axle at the pivot point. So yeah, but front and back, good as gold, good as gold. And I'll see how long my cheap Czech chain lasts. Easy for you to say. But that's indeed it from me. I'm going to do the last little bits on the tidy up with the radio on, blaring. So there's no copyright issues. But if you got this far, thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you found that of some interest. It's not a tutorial, it's just how I did it. And if you've got any comments on the way I did it, throw them down below. And subscribe so you can throw comments at every video that I do. Say what you want. But yeah, thanks for being there. And I'll maybe catch you again. Ta-ra.